Since you mentioned the higher resolutions that we're starting to look at for your Netflix series, you're finishing that in 4K. So could you talk a little bit about, what impact that has on not just the creative but the schedule?
4K is a big file, and it doesn't like going through small little pipes too easily. So it takes time. 4K really takes time to deal with as far as just moving media around. It's very large. And that's, I think, the biggest thing to consider in when doing a 4K show, that it's going to take time. It's going to take longer than an HD show. As from a color standpoint, I did the show that's on Netflix right now, and be it that it's 4K and the actors that were in the show, everything looked crystal clear. And so it's still, again, trying to maintain a filmic look and keep the actors looking more natural and I don't want to say not as crystal clear, but not as crystal clear. And it really, the 4K thing just takes time. It's a longer process.
Glenn, do you want to talk a little bit about what ARRI's working on as far as 4K and even 6K, which we're starting to talk about shooting?
Well, first I'll say it's not just about the Ks, not just about the resolution. I mean, the Alexa camera is used on a wide range of TV shows and features. Probably 75% or so of the high-end productions, and we have a 3K sensor, and we've never hidden the fact that we have a 3K sensor. In fact, most of our productions today are finished in either HD for television or 2K for cinema. But interestingly, over the last year or two, a lot of our customers started pushing it to UHD or to 4K and ask us to add that capability to our cameras. So we launched that this year, which is UHD recording capability with the Amira camera and then with the Alexa Mini camera that we actually just started shipping this week. And it'll be soon added to the regular Alexa camera too, with an upgrade, hardware upgrade to that camera. But what allows us to do that is, we start with a very excellent, high-quality sensor at the front end that allows us to, to stretch the signal, the 20% that it needs to, to get from 3K to UHD. And it holds up really well in terms of detail and sharpness, but most importantly, it has the dynamic range and the color fidelity and the sensitivity, shadow detail, and other things that people have grown to love with the Alexa. So you mentioned 6K. We don't usually refer to it that way, but we have a 6K camera. It's the Alexa 65, so it's actually a 65 millimeter large format camera that uses large format lenses and is now being embraced in high-end feature applications. We sort of look at that as kind of the best of the best type of thing, and it's actually uses the same sensor technology that's in the Alexa, but it's a three times the image area and a standard 65 millimeter 5-perf type frame. So, but it produces stunning imagery. It's now being used by IMAX and Marvel on the Captain America 3 shooting in Atlanta, and it's been used in some other productions that haven't made it to the screen yet.
Chivo.
Well, yeah.
Okay. And before we get into the high dynamic range discussion, Lori, do you want to talk a little bit about higher resolution and how important is it, and what do you consider when you consider it as a producer?
Well, I think the biggest concern is that it costs more. It costs more to deliver something in 2K or HD than it does in 4K. There's more time, there's more media, there's more potential for things to go wrong because you're just transferring more media files. I think, though, if I'm honest about it, I would love it if I could get every place that I'm producing for to say, please deliver in 4K or higher, just because what I said earlier. I would like to have that data, even if I don't ultimately deliver today in 4K, to keep the data so that if we ever need to go back and conform that media to something that's higher resolution that looks better on the new HDR dynamic range monitors that it's there. So I'm a big believer in the producers pushing the distributors, pushing the envelope and asking them to please help pay to pave the way for the future of our projects so that they are future-proof, so they have a longer life. And it behooves them as distributors to have something that they can keep selling in the future. So if you're doing something that's not a, time and date news program or something that's a sports program, please, 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 come to us, get as much information as you can about pushing the envelope for higher definition, and we'll try to help you push those through.
And is it possible to quantify kind of a range of how much more it's going to cost, or, how many extra weeks you might, or week or days for grading?
It is possible. I can't do it right now. We actually have a project right now that that's a big 6-hour cable program that we have to deliver 4K to international and 2K to domestic. So we're going through that exercise now. I don't have the actual numbers yet. Kelly, you don't have them, do you? Okay.